I stand alone through the stillness of the night. Shadows take me home. Stars are dancing in the sky, and you can hear the heartbeats fill the air. Moon is shining, stop and stare. By myself, but I don't care, 'cause my sunrise will soon be here. I waited all night for the sunrise, sky illuminating orange and red. I waited all night for the sunlight, yeah, you're taking over my head. Missing echoes of the moments where we were so damn happy.
Hello. Good evening. I know that I am like 2 hours late. However, work, um, we had an incredible class today at work. So let me turn the sound down. There we go. And let me turn it down for me. There we go. And then y'all just let me know if the audio's off. But good evening. Happy We Code Wednesday. I hope you are having a wonderful week so far. We're halfway through. So, pretty excited for the weekend just because we have the new Palia update. Definitely want to get some of that in. Did some amazing code progress yesterday. We're bumping. I like it, but this might be like before and after stream sort of deal. But I like that there's words. Maybe we'll save this to our library. There we go. So I was trying to find like some copyright free music that wasn't the same that I was playing. Is it gonna play? There we go. Sweet. But yeah, we had an incredible event for one of my cohorts today. For those of you that don't know, I am a learner experience manager at a coding bootcamp. I'm gonna refrain from saying their name. I'm sure you'll see it if you follow me on LinkedIn or anything like that. It's not intentional. It's just that I don't speak for the brand of the company when I'm streaming. This is purely for code and getting things done outside of work or doing work not on the screen because I don't want to release proprietary information. But just want to throw that disclaimer out in case anybody tries to be like, oh my god, you're speaking for the company. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Go away. But anyway, so I am a learner experience manager at this coding bootcamp for my day job. And so that is something that I really enjoy. I love education. That's why I kind of stayed in education even after dropping out of college. And I absolutely adore adult education. So being in kind of like the ed tech space is a great fit for me. And so for this role specifically, I think I have about 10-ish cohorts going on at the same time. I have the majority of my cohorts are full stack web development. However, I do have 2 cohorts. The one that I went to today, their graduation is tomorrow. So I have 2 AI cohorts and one of them is graduating tomorrow. So I only have 1 AI cohort after this. I was doing both. However, we did have someone get their dream job as a cybersecurity person at Disney. So jelly. Shout out to Garbo. And so she went to go live her best life, and so I was able to bring one of my previous coworkers that I absolutely adore over to be the learner experience manager for our AI machine learning and data analytics cohorts. So the ones that I started, I'm finishing, and they had the way that the end of the cohort works, at least for the AI, is that the day before graduation, they will present their capstone projects. And here, let me adjust this music one more time. Sorry, y'all. There we go. I just want it to be in the background, not like overpowering or fighting me. So yeah, I wonder if there's like a just chatting situational so that way I can kind of explain. I still want to be on the screen. Oops. Oh snap. I didn't realize it was gonna be like all over my... Oh, okay, there we go. Let me move these over. Stream preview. Because now I'm curious if I do a different... okay, so if I do a different... There we go. That's back. Doing this on the fly. There we go. Wish it was a little bit easier to... What in the world? Wish that it was a little bit easier to do that. I need to get better about using OBS because I haven't streamed in 6 years, and so things have updated. And like, what is this other video thing on here? Because it's, I mean, that's fine. It can display my amazing Hobbit hole warmer. That's totally fine. It just seems a little out of place, you know what I mean? Like if I had a if I had like a dog cam or pup cam, pretty cool. It said I can edit it, but I'm like, I don't see anywhere where I can, you know what I'm saying? Discord for a second. Actually, let me move this over. Let me see if y'all can see it. No, we're talking. Okay. Also, let me address the elephant in the room. I can't find my glasses. I feel like maybe I left them in the car or something. I'm not 100% sure what happened. And so, to protect my eyes, I have sunglasses on. Typically, you'll only see Sunglass Jess if she has a migraine, but I'm trying to prevent one now because I can't find my glasses. And we went out into the world today and did errands. And so we went to the doctor this morning. It was a quick little follow-up, and then we went, my husband and I went and had breakfast. He loves hotcakes, so we went and got some hotcakes. We had to go pick up the girls' medicine. When I say girls, for those of you that don't know me, that is my dogs. I have five dogs. Excuse me. Are you okay? So I would eventually like to have a dog cam, but you'll see Sadie most of the time because she likes to box with me, because I'm not giving her enough attention. So I'm hoping that we can get a dog cam at some point. But right now, what I'm trying to do is remove this like extra camera for now, or at least hide it. Because it looks weird. So those of you that want to chat in the chat or like to chat in the chat, ow! Don't bite me. Come on. If you like looking at my Hobbit warmer, just let me know. It isn't like me trying to get you to buy one or anything. They don't even exist right now. Obviously my room is a little bit of a mess. I was moving things around, and so the majority of that view is actually my air purifier and the monitors. So, but now that I see it, it's just an extension of my camera, which is kind of funny. Okie dokie. I wish that it's not the end of the world, but here, I'll move where you can see my screen. So I'm on this little editor because Stream Elements will let you like do it in like some editor. And so I'm sitting here looking for this part, and I'm like, I don't know. What I might just do is take the chat box. Oh, is it not like Canva? You can't just make it bigger? Okay, well, we're just gonna have to deal with it for now. Okay, cool. Oh well. The other thing too, I've been playing around with some settings. So if there's like a ton of like ads or anything like that, please let me know. I will try to fix that. And because now I made it to where it'll show me when there's gonna be an ad break. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be as crazy. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be like every 25, 30 minutes or so, I think. So it shouldn't be anything super crazy. However, I had a demo day for one of my cohorts, and so basically what that means is the people in this cohort have been working on their capstone project. This is one of the last things they do in order to graduate from their program, and so they were presenting those projects, and they were amazing. They were absolutely incredible. There was one student. He is very, very passionate about his capstone project. He was talking about how he wanted to do it and like turn it into a nonprofit and everything like that. And you could just tell like how passionate he was. But it was literally everyone. They took some of the ideas that were because we give them some options, or they can make their own project, and they took some options and were like running with them, because there are some people in this cohort that don't want to change careers. Like, they don't want to be an AI engineer. The last person that presented, just because she's fresh in my mind, she's a pharmacist, and so she just wants to use this to kind of grow in her career and her professional development, and it's incredible, absolutely incredible. Her project had nothing to do with pharmacy in general, because she took a little bit of a break in order to get finished with her pharmacy degree and her license and things like that. So she chose one of the options, which I don't blame her. I mean, if I had just finished pharmacy school, like, I'd be exhausted. But she's really excited about where she's going to be able to use the information that she learned in AI and machine learning to put that in pharmacy and grow her career that way. So, but yeah, there were so many, and it just really kind of sparked building for me. And I'm like, I always have tons of ideas for like startups or applications, but I usually just write them down and then get rid of them or don't think about it, or it's too overwhelming and I get, anxious. But it really kind of brought the spark back. So I wanted to stay for all of them, especially since they're graduating tomorrow, hence why I'm hella late. But the thing is we're here now. We showed up. If you're here and you showed up, be proud of yourself. I'll give y'all the rundown, and then I have a short-ish little, I don't know what to call it, because it's not technically a sponsored thing, but it kind of is. I don't know. I have to show you this new thing that I'm trying out. I'm on a free trial, but it is a platform. I used to work with a lot of the people that run this platform, and they reached out to me because they really liked my We Code Wednesdays, and I'm going through the process of, setting up my first, they call their stream Shadows, and just wanted to kind of show you all my experience with the platform, what the platform does, and if you're interested in being a part of the platform, great. If not, then you just got to see a cool thing, and we'll kind of go from there. I will just say up front, I did a lot of coding yesterday. If you didn't come to the live stream or watch the replay of the live stream yesterday, we got a ton of work done on a new project, and once I get finished with this shadow thing, then we'll move over there and I'll show you what I did. Just a quick little recap. But we got a lot done on that. I was just in the zone. I was super hyper focused. Ended up streaming for 5.5 hours, and that was not my intention. And after that, I was like, okay, let me do my dailies for some video games that I play on the regular. And next thing I know, I look up and it's time for me to leave to go to the doctor. So your girl hasn't slept, and it didn't hit me until probably about 10-ish, maybe 11 at the latest. Took me a little nap, and so we do have a little bit of a headache. We're a little sleep deprived. I'm gonna take things a little bit easier today as far as like coding, getting stuff done, but I still want to one, show up, because if you stop showing up, then you'll stop doing the thing you want to do. And two, I do have some work that I need to do. So worst case scenario, if I go to start coding and it's just not hitting, then we'll hang out on this screen and I'll do some work. And yeah, I need to kind of like ask my manager and be like, hey, like, what is okay? Because I'm working on the thing that I need to work on for work is a graduation slide deck, and most of it's done. I'm just updating like the names, putting in the speaker notes and things like that. So that doesn't seem like proprietary information, but I also don't want to stream it without permission. So yeah, so there's all that. You got context why I'm late, why your girl's got sunglasses on, and yeah. So also, if I start sounding like crazy, it's because I'm tired. So probably won't be a super long stream, really. You know, the big thing and the big takeaway from this, if you like to take away things from these types of streams, is progress is better than perfection. And me showing up, even if it's for just a little bit, is progress. So I am the type of person, I'm very much a perfectionist. I like for things to go the way I want them to go. And what that does in turn means I don't execute on a lot of things. The work that I put in at work is a lot of energy, and it's a lot of facilitation, coaching, that sort of thing. So I'm very available, and that drains me a lot. And so it's very difficult for me to kind of like push myself if I am tired. And so the fact that I turn this on instead of going and laying down, because I could go to sleep right now and sleep all night, it's a huge thing for me. So I'm also, y'all know, I just got off work. So obviously we're eating dinner. We got our Lunchable. Lunchable should probably sponsor me at this point. And I know that's terrible for you because the meat is processed and things like that. For those of you that don't know, I have ADHD, probably some autism, but mostly ADHD. And I have like a really big sensory sort of deal. So like textures are really weird. I finally ended up getting some gloves, even though I thought, like, Jess, this is so weird, because it was a struggle for me to like do dishes. And the other piece of this, and sure, this is probably more than you ever want to know about, Jess, is I also have PCOS, and so I have insulin resistance as a result of that PCOS, and I was prescribed I started out on like the semaglutide, like the GLP stuff that everybody is calling the fat shot, which, oh my god, like, I hate that it's become so popular, because that's not why I'm doing it. It's because of my chronic illness, and I'm a fairly active person, and so it just, because of the insulin resistance and the way that I was eating, I was just gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining. Even going to Disney and walking a marathon, drinking tons of water, being really active, it just wasn't coming off. And so we tried the semaglutide stuff, worked really well, but it made me very sick. The other thing is it makes it to where eating things is really difficult, and I know that sounds weird, but there'll be some things that I really, really love, or I've loved for a really long time, and they will either make me sick or just like smell weird, or it's just very strange. So I typically eat the same thing every day. I try to be as healthy as I can, while still staying within my carb limit. I have had a little bit like extra sugar the past couple days, because it's like the end of lady time, but you'll see a lot of like zero sugar soda. I'm eating some apples right now, which are probably a little more sugar than I should have, but they're good. So I'm gonna eat them. So I'm trying to incorporate more fruits and veggies and things like that, but your daily driver for Jess is either a turkey or a ham lunchable, and it's just easy peasy. I get a little sweet treat as an end part of it, and it's much easier for me to just eat a lunchable every single day than this is like so loud still. It's so much easier for me to It's so much easier for me to just eat the same thing every day than go through the hassle of cooking. Now, there are some ADHD people that love to cook, but I just cannot bring myself to do it. I'm a very busy person. I have lots of other things that I'm doing on top of taking care of 5 dogs, and doing all that sort of deal. So cooking is just a real big obstacle. And then if I do cook, then I won't clean things, and it's just a whole thing. If you know somebody that's neurodivergent, or you are neurodivergent, you understand the struggle. And so we're just doing the best that we can. That's all we can do, is our best. So now that I've went on a tangent, let me share my screen, and I'll show you maybe. There we go. I'll show you this program. Super cool. Alright. So I might move my... that'll be fine. So this platform is called Silicon Society. I but it's super cool. Let me actually go to their website. I should have just pulled up LinkedIn, but and it's not just because purple's the main color, even though purple is my favorite color. Purple and teal, those are my two. So a little background. They're not paying me to like do this. Like that's why I said like this isn't like a sponsored video, but the people behind Silicon Society, I used to work with them at my previous employer, and these people are incredible. So I really enjoy them, have collaborated with them. They have been mentors for me, and they also are very passionate about what they do. And so one of the things that I am really passionate about is sharing companies that are doing good work and not just like selling something to make money. That's why I'm like, if the ads are too much, we'll turn them down. Because like I am purely here to hold myself accountable. That's what the goal of the We Code Wednesdays on Twitch, and I'm trying to get them to also show up on my Just Will Code YouTube channel. That's what the goal of these channels are, is to one, hold myself accountable to do things that I've been putting off and wanted to do for so long, but also to act as a body double for those of you that need assistance and need to get things done as well. So I'm not trying to make money. If I do make money, it'll either go back into the stream or it will go towards updating the equipment and things like that. Like my headset broke, so I got a new headset, stuff like that. And then anything additional to that will go to charity, because you know I'm not trying to like make a little hustle, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help myself and help others. But I love this group of people. I think the platform that they have is a great opportunity. I met the majority of the team from my boot camp and my previous employer because I loved it so much they couldn't get rid of me. And one of the things about the boot camp that I really loved is, instead of doing like a capstone project by yourself or with a group of people, we had this thing called labs. And so rest in peace labs, because it was amazing. And what labs was basically like a job simulation. And so it was what is called experiential learning. And what the labs team did was made it as close to a real like agency or startup tech company environment. And so we were put into groups, and there were data science people, there were web people. Now the way that it worked is like the data science people would be in groups with other data science people, the web people would be in groups with other web people, and so we had our specific things that we were in charge of. But the magic of this is meeting together and collaborating with one another on a real world project. And so they partnered with nonprofit organizations that were looking for solutions that if they went to another agency, they wouldn't be able to afford, or, you know, it might take too long. And so partnered with the labs team in order to give them a product that they were looking for, while also teaching people and giving people experience. So that's probably a more eloquent way to explain it, but that's what it is in a nutshell. And so we had a ton of fun. It was probably the highlight of my entire program. I had an incredible labs group. I still cheer for them on LinkedIn. I still talk to them on occasion, and that was where I got like my first like technical management experience and all that. And so a lot of the technical people on the Silicon Society team were a part of the labs team. And so they were not only mentors to me, but when I, kind of transitioned over to the like employment side of things, they were great collaborators, great co-workers, just fantastic human beings overall. And I don't just say that about anybody. Unfortunately, there was a point where the labs program got dissolved, and so they were all laid off. And after that, I slowly saw Silicon Society show up on my LinkedIn. And I was like, because one of the, I don't know if they have like a co-founder situation or whatever, but the CEO, his name is Frank Fusco. I think that's how you say his last name. And he is an entrepreneur. He has a product manager background. When I met him, he was like one of our senior managers, or like senior product manager or whatever. But he does a lot of entrepreneurial things. And when/if you ever meet Frank, he is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. The other thing though is that when he's working with people, he is very intentional. And one of the biggest pieces of advice that I give to my students today actually came from him, which is funny. I don't think he knows this. And he holds you accountable. I think that's the big thing, while still being like the coolest cat ever. And so the piece of advice that he gave me is to make it functional first, and then you can make it pretty. And so I tell my web students that all the time. And I tell my AI students that too, but I feel like it hits different in that space. But so yeah, I saw little like rumblings of this, and then slowly they built it out, and I slowly saw the labs team basically come back together for the most part. And so I've been cheering them on since day one, and they have recently, I don't know if it's like alpha or beta or I can't remember, but this is a platform that basically is kind of an extension of that the labs process that they helped shape. And so that's why I wanted to kind of explain what that process looked like. So, one of the big things about the labs program that the whole labs team, but also something that I agreed with and was very passionate about, was getting real life experience. Because you can sit in a classroom and you can code in your room by yourself and make all kinds of cool things. However, if you want to get a job, you need experience. And that's one of the things that I kept hearing after I got laid off last year was, we really love your personality, we think you'd be great, but you just don't have enough experience. And I'm like, it's like that catch-22. In order to get experience, you have to get a job. In order to get a job, you have to have experience. And so I absolutely love that they kept that passion for getting real-world experience while you're job searching or, whatever, and putting that out into the world, because you don't really see boot camps or colleges doing anything like this. Anything in the education space doing something like this. There are internships and things like that, but what this platform does is it shows people that are actually doing things in the industry, and you can shadow them. So Silicon Society has a couple of different sides to it. So if you're a business owner and you need something done, they do have an agency side of things right here. And you can get help with whatever you need. And this person is actually a graduate from the boot camp that I went to. And I've actually worked with Jason. Jason was one of the stakeholders for the Underdog Devs project that I helped them deploy and send out. Not them as in Silicon Society, them as in, previous employer. And it was really awesome to work with Jason. Jason is an incredible human being. If you haven't ever looked at his LinkedIn or heard a talk from him, he's extremely inspirational. I'll let you go listen to him. But yeah, so they will basically do it for you, done for you services. And they tell you what they offer right here. Blah, blah, blah. And then you can book a call. So if you want them to do it for you, they can do that. And because they have this agency side, they're able to show, devs doing real work. And one of the things that I feel like is so helpful and was really helpful for me was watching someone go through their code or what they're working on or whatever and be able to ask questions. And that is what is really the bread and butter secret sauce or whatever behind this platform. I love the metaphor that they kind of use. So instead of streaming, they call it casting a shadow, because you're basically shadowing someone working. And so this allows you to see real world work situations, see real code, real, production code. And not only are you seeing them solve the problems, but for the most part, you're also seeing them talk through their process of solving that problem, which is essential. It's critical, especially when you're learning, because you don't know how to do that. You haven't been exposed to that unless you were taught that. And one thing too, where AI is a big thing right now. A lot of people, I know it's probably silly that I didn't know this, but Copilot's baked into VS Code. And so people that are new to coding, they just assume that that's part of VS Code. And it's really, if you don't know how to utilize AI correctly, it's a crutch. And so being able to shadow someone on the job, not only solving problems, you're seeing code, you're seeing a thought process from someone else. You're also seeing how someone appropriately uses AI. And then also you're seeing problems that might be something that you get a lot of in, out there in the real world. Because when you're learning, you're just put in this little learning bubble. So yeah, basically shadowing. Instead of because when you're in a program, you're straight up studying and you're practicing, but you're not really shadowing. And that's also kind of another premise behind We Code Wednesday, and hopefully bringing it over to my YouTube channel is if you don't see how to approach a problem and you don't learn how to approach a problem, how are you going to solve the problem when you're at work? You're not. So yeah, I know I can sit here and talk all day about how awesome this is, the thought process behind it, but the other cool side of this is there is an AI aspect. Surprise, there's an AI aspect and everything. So they have an AI learning companion called Beacon, which once I like realized that Beacon is shining the light and you're casting the shadow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so like beautiful as far as like words. Anyway, the cool thing about Beacon is it is basically like having one of those annoying NPC people in a video game, but helpful. And so obviously, because it's like an AI and it's trained, you know, they've trained it, and I can tell you, the person that trained it, I guarantee you, is Robert. Robert is literally a master when it comes to like data science, AI stuff. Like, that is his livelihood. So I know that it was trained very well. For the let me just stop because my brain just jumbled. Let's back up. So basically, like, if you're watching a shadow, and we'll go watch like a real one if I can. There's like a replay. While you're, you know, watching him code and talk through stuff, it is basically giving you a paraphrase or breakdown of what's going on. And so you can directly ask Beacon questions and it'll answer you. You can also interact with the person casting. And then you can also be like, hey, this is what my experience is. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I've never coded a day in my life. Can you explain this to me? And it will tailor the way that it explains things to help you. So that's sick. I'm excited to take a look at it and, you know, use it. I logged in. Work's been really busy this week, and so I finally was able to log in, create my account, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So if this is something that you think would benefit you, again, this isn't me trying to sell you something. I'm just sharing something that's really, really cool. And it is something that, you know, I'm going to be participating in. I don't necessarily know the like ins and outs of like what I can put on my channels versus what can be casted on their platform. I will say at least one of my like shadows is going to be purely for people that are on the platform within the Silicon Society, just out of, you know, respect for them, because obviously they're trying out the alpha, and I feel like it would be a tiny bit like not cool to be streaming the same thing somewhere else for like kind of free. However, they might be chill with it. I know that there are a lot more benefits to being a part of the platform than just being able to see the stream. So anyway, I think I'm going to be getting a referral link at some point. If this is something you are interested in, just let me know. They are also looking for people that want to shadow and, you know, cast and do things like that. So if you are interested in casting, just holler at me. Like I said, I love the group. I've been in contact with their operations, like, was it COO, Chief Operations Officer, who's amazing. And if you have any sort of questions, anything like that, I can send that to the team and let them get back to you. Onboarding process was really easy. So for the alpha, they sent out, they're actually really sweet, and they sent a calendar reminder for when the alpha launched. I think it's alpha. If it's not, forgive me. And once it like quote unquote went live, they started sending out the invitations. So everyone got an initial email saying, hey, look for an email saying invitation to Silicon Society. And then from that point, it would take you to the onboarding. Now, this is a new company. This is a startup. And also, for those of you that are watching this, I'm assuming that you are in tech. So this is not going to be a surprise to you. There are some things that there are some bugs. There's some things that may or may not work. When I went through the onboarding process, one of the things is the button to continue or submit. The text was the same color as the background, so all you saw was the outline. And I mean, that's not a huge deal, but if you see something like that, they have a really easy way to go through and submit those bugs and things like that. They also let me know today that they are working on a mobile app, so it's definitely in their roadmap of things they want to accomplish. And I can tell you that this team is very invested in making Silicon Society an amazing platform for people to grow. So, super stoked. I'll put links once I have them. And yeah. So, let's look at, I'll just show y'all pricing real quick. Let me get a drink really quick. So I'm not usually talking as much. And again, they didn't ask me to do this. I just think it's a really cool concept. They do have a Teams option, so if there's anyone watching this out there in the digital ether that has, a business and a group of people that they think would benefit from this, they can talk to their sales team. The individual, that's me, I'm an individual. You'll probably be an individual. And it shows you exactly what you're getting. You do, as far as I'm aware, you have a 2-week free trial, and then after that it is $29 a month, and you're able to shadow professionals or real world projects. You get personalized AI learning paths, you get access to exclusive events, and then of course there is also a community membership and support aspect to this. So I think this is relatively affordable. I've seen other paid memberships for communities in like the entrepreneur space or like Salesforce engineers, things like that are double this price. So I think it's fair. I'm not just saying that because I like the people. I would tell you if it was expensive. Is it a little more expensive than I've paid in the past? Yeah, but I feel like the value you're getting is great. Now, after this trial, I'll let you know if it's not. I'll just keep it real with you. We're at the beginning, so they do have a wait list. I can guarantee you they're being really smart about the amount of stress they're putting on their servers and things like that. Because they're new, they want to, do slow stress tests and make sure that things are ready to go before just unleashing a bunch of people. So they got all the info, all that stuff. They have an email. Hell, you can even call them. There you go. So there is the pricing. This is kind of the about. So if you want to learn more about Silicon Society, if you want to learn more about Frank and Rachel and Shelby and Robert, please connect with them on LinkedIn. Regardless of whether you decide to be a part of Silicon Society or not, these are all incredible professionals. They are incredible human beings, and they are great role models. So definitely connect with them on LinkedIn, 100%. Shelby was one of my career coaches, so whenever I had interviews, I always did interview prep with Shelby. She is super helpful. I know that she is like heading up the sales team right now. And the other cool thing that I really loved is that whenever she sent me a follow-up email because I mean, life is happening. I don't know if this was purely meant for me because I'm ADHD. I'm sure it's part of a follow-up campaign or whatever, but it was a really nice touch when I hadn't logged in. And there was also, either in the onboarding or in one of the emails, there was a video walkthrough from Shelby outlining the different aspects and how to use the platform. And they're very much, if you need help, reach out. So I really liked that aspect of onboarding. Onboarding was also really easy, nothing crazy. You're able to log in with Google, which is what I did, because I try to log in with Google for everything. And yeah, we already clicked on the agency page. I'm curious what the shop page is, because I don't think I've ever seen this. It's definitely taking a hot minute to load, that's for sure. I don't know if it's me or... There we go. So yeah, you can get like a hoodie, you can get a mug, get a hat, long sleeve. Heck yeah. That jacket's nice. Boom. There you go. If you want to rep your membership, your little tote bag. Love to see it. All right, let's get in. I think I'm already signed in. Ooh, that is so cool. It's pretty. Okay, so you can go to app right here. I think it's because I have it open over here. Once you log in, it looks like this. This is your home page. And so it will be on the Shadow tab, at least for I think I have regular access. I think. If not, I'll update. But you also have a personal profile. You get a little about me. You can change your picture. I did put my legal name on here. So one thing that I would like to see is an option for a display name, because obviously, for those of you that know me, I don't go by my legal name. I go by Jess. So I don't want anyone. Not that I hate my name. It's just weird to hear anyone except my mother call me that. So that would be a cool little suggestion. I'm slowly, because I don't want to overwhelm. I'm like, hey, these are all my things. This is what I found. Whoa. So they're like, whoa, Jess, you're too invested. But yeah, so this is the shadow page. You can search for a shadow, if there's a specific one you're looking for. You can start a shadow, which is basically like a stream. So if I wanted to start one right now, I could, and it'll show this. These are the ones that are upcoming. So this person, Francisco, is going to do a shadow on Friday. It's just a 30-minute little shindig, and they're going to go over upgrading Theist, which is an open source framework for AIML. And they've got little tags here. And then this person over here, I am assuming their name is Amir or Amir. They're going live, casting a shadow. I'm trying to get the lingo down. For 15 minutes on Friday to go over building a simple dashboard with Plotly. So super simple. The one thing I do like, and I can show you this, I accidentally missed the event that I put on my calendar for this for today. So I'm hoping we'll be able to see a replay. That would be awesome. Don't go to my email, go to my calendar. So you're able to add things to your calendar. And this was the event. It was learn about weekly shout outs and becoming a shadow master. And I kind of like that. I want to be a shadow master. Like, that's cool. So this was Rachel talking about weekly shout outs, becoming a shadow master, and then also shadowing her working on the Canva design for Friday. I don't know if it's for social media or whatever. So when you hit add to calendar, it'll let you choose whether to add it to Google Calendar or to download a .ics file to add it to whatever calendar you use. And there's also the link so you can directly join the shadow from your calendar. So if we click on here, ooh, it will let me watch the replay. Awesome. So when you either start casting a shadow or you either watch a live shadow or watch a replay, you will see this come up. And it's like, what's your goal for the shadow? Because we're not just like AFK listening and watching. The whole goal of this is to be active in your professional growth and to be a part of the shadow, ask questions, learn, all that good stuff. And they give you examples. And like I said, they want to make sure that you are hitting your goals. So they say, share your thoughts and let us know how we can help you achieve your goals. What you put in here will also be given to the AI, so that way Beacon can help you get what you want out of the shadow. So it says you can say things like learn more about blank, see how a senior developer approaches blank, identify ways to improve in blank. Now, for example, this one is learning about weekly shoutouts and becoming a shadow master. So my goal for the shadow is to, see the flow of a shadow, as this is my first one. I guess discover what weekly shoutouts are and learn how to become a shadow master, because that's literally the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You can type it, or it has speech to text, which is super cool. And then you will hit start right here. And
hey everyone.
There is the replay, and then you can pause. There isn't any chat on during replay. However, you've got Beacon over here. Beacon also takes your name. I love that little just personal detail. And Beacon's like, hey, here's who I am. Thanks for giving me your go. And then gives you some instructions. So a little bit of a tutorial on how to best use Beacon. So Beacon says, keep an eye here. Click on the question mark on a message if you want me to go into more detail about it. Want to ask a specific question about a message, click the quote icon with the arrow and type away. So that's this one right here. Or just feel free to ask me anything below. You can also like or dislike. So if you don't like the answer it gives you, there you go. So this is the question mark. This is the, let's see. So if it sends you a message, you're like, hey, I want some more detail about that, but you don't have a specific question, you'll click on the question mark. And then if you have a specific question, you'll click on the little arrow with the quote bubble. And then it's down here. Now let me double check. Okay. So I have a Google Chrome extension that puts light mode into dark mode. So I turn that off so that way we see, what's supposed to be seen on the website. So, all right, it's a little 6-minute shadow. See what's going on. Now, just first impressions, like coming in just from clicking the link, I will say, hello, Sadie. Do you have something you'd like to say? Goodness gracious. The video seems a little cramped coming in. I think it's because the chat is right here. I think this is the ID for the shadow, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm a little confused as to what this is. I'm assuming this is like your typical, like you would see on Instagram, or there may even be one on Twitch or on YouTube. You just hit the heart and you can send all the love. I love that. And then I wonder if this is specifically for asking the caster a question. Oh, it's a reaction. Okay, so if you have a question, you can do that, or if you're like confused or whatever, you can use that. So you have 2 reactions right now, and I love the animation. I think it's super cute. The one thing that I will say is it is a little hard to see, but it could also be because I have sunglasses on. Yeah, it's just because I have sunglasses on. We're good. And then I think this is the leave button. One thing that would be super helpful, and this is just me coming from being a front-end dev, is when you hover over one of these buttons, having like a little tooltip or something that tells you would be great. So that way I know what this is. Now, this is just based on the typical app / website / platform experience that seems like leaving to me, so I'm gonna assume that. And then this is the chat bubble, and I'm just gonna type something to Beacon really quick. Okay, cool. So it kind of separates, and your questions will kind of be right here, and then this will be right there. So it looks like it'll be easier for you to kind of like go through these, so you don't have to scroll through all of this to get to like to go back to your question. That's cool. I like that you can minimize things because this feels a lot better. I will say I am on a 27-inch monitor, so things may be a little bit like stretched if for some reason they didn't account for a 27-inch monitor. So that's another thing I just want to point out. But all right, let's get into it. I mean, obviously we can go full screen, so I like that. I will say I like that this is like the reactions are still there, but I am like wanting something similar to like a YouTube experience. If I go full screen, I want the video to be full screen, you know what I'm saying? So having something similar to maybe Twitch, maybe YouTube does this, I'm not 100% sure, having the chat on the right hand side, or making it to where you can pop it out into a different window, that would be helpful. And these are just personal preferences. It'll also show you how many people are like here. Oh, cool. Has a little thing here. I am gonna open Beacon back up. Phew! Excuse me. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm gonna start it back over from the beginning. And then let me pause the music real quick.
Hey everyone. Thanks for joining my shadow. Why did I start the shadow? I was really excited to tell you guys all about our weekly shout outs and becoming a shadow master. And then I'm actually going to spend some time building out loud in Canva on kind of the modal that's going to be on the app when we do our weekly shout outs. So I have kind of a draft of this, but I don't love how it looks. So,
okay, let me real quick. Okay. Turn up the volume for me.
I figured I could just play around with it here. If any.
Okay, I like that it has the similar play pause by hitting the space bar.
Anyone hasn't spent much time in Canva, you can see what that's like. I happen to love it. And that's that.
And then the other thing, like just user experience, usability wise, the way that YouTube and I think Twitch, I think it's pretty standard for video stuff, is you should be able to click and pause right here, not on Rachel's forehead, but like in the middle of the video. So I do wish that there was that, because not everybody likes to use their keyboard or whatever. Is it the worst thing in the world to click on this play button down the corner? No, it's just I'm used to that on other applications. So just a shout out my thoughts about it.
So maybe I'll start with that. Maybe I'll start with working on Canva so you can see what the shout outs are, and then we could talk a little bit about kind of why we designed it as we did while I'm working. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I might have too many windows here. There we go.
I feel like everybody has too many windows.
Okay.
I feel like you're not in tech if you
So
don't.
here's my Canva. You can probably see lots of different designs that I've worked on. This is the one that I want to edit now. Okay, so you should be looking at, yep, looks like it's here, weekly Silicon Society shoutouts. And basically, we know in launching an early version of this platform that people are going to be playing around with it. Some of it's going to feel comfortable, some of it's going to feel less comfortable. We're creating a learning community. We're creating an experience where you can sort of contribute to that community by casting shadows, showcasing your work, and also spend a ton of time viewing shadows of other folks in the community. And we want to incentivize all of that for you guys. So the weekly shout outs that we are going to be kicking off with are viewed the most shadows. So just engaging with shadow content. So of course we can see who is viewing what. And so that will be one on a weekly basis. Cast the most shadows. So folks who are casting shadows of their work, whoever does that most on a weekly basis will be a shout out for that. And then most viewed shadows this week. See, this is like a little crooked. I'm going to edit this while I go. I used a template and then kind of changed it with our brand guide, but it's a little, I don't know, right? Does not look off, and it's not letting me turn it. Hold on, Command-Z. Oh, let's ungroup it. I see why. There we go. See, I've worked a lot with this tool, but it's still getting used to it. Ooh, it's even more crooked. I don't know. I might need to redo this template, but that's the idea. Kind of like the stars that I added there. Anyway, also our brand font. This is not our brand font. I'm gonna go ahead and update the font here to Roboto so it aligns. I think I changed most of this. Yeah, just that was not. Okay, I'll make it a drop bigger. Cool. And then okay, maybe it just has to be like. I hope Beacon is doing some really good explaining of me changing how crooked this is. Like maybe it has to be off and that's how it's supposed to look. And I've already over curated it. I don't know, guys. This is terrible. Okay. The last one that I'm really excited to share with you guys as I just move this sideways and sideways. All right, I'm almost done.
Real quick, I just want to pause right here because one of the most uncomfortable things in tech or, you know, being a programmer, engineer, whatever, is sharing your screen and working on something. Now, obviously, this kind of goes hand in hand with like presenting. People have like stage fright or whatever. And I feel like having stage fright is also a real thing whenever you're sharing your screen, you're coding live, things like that. And that's one of the reasons why I really love this idea, because people, not only are you getting information from watching these shadows, but you're also like, I mean, you can come on here and not cast shadows, but like you're doing yourself a disservice, because the more comfortable you are doing it outside of an interview or outside of work, the easier it's going to be when you have that situation. And it forces you to explain what you're doing. And not only is that helpful for the people watching you either live or later, but the best way to master something is to teach it. And so it solidifies your understanding of what you're doing. So, for one, Rachel needs to stop beating herself up. But that's why I wanted to pause here and just be like, you should be sharing your screen, coding live, talking through things with other people, whether they're technical or not, as much as possible. Whether it's about this platform or just on your own, whether you decide to do a stream or not. Now, funny enough, I actually got this from her. I can't remember exactly if it was her that said it, but one of the things that I try to do on my LinkedIn as much as possible is this concept of building out loud. And on like in this market, it's really hard to kind of like differentiate yourself, because there are so many different people that are basically trying to do the same thing. And so a lot of people don't realize that part of looking for a job is branding yourself. So you are marketing yourself to companies for them to hire you. And so without having marketing knowledge or branding knowledge, it's going to be really difficult. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why does this suck? Because you weren't taught that. But the other thing too is that a lot of people that are trying to find a job either right now or between layoffs or, you know, whatever, a lot of them don't realize that when you're looking for a job, you're doing like cover letters, you're doing resumes, your portfolio, all of that is a brand that you are putting out into the world. And so whenever, especially with tech stuff, whenever you're putting stuff out there, you can have projects, you can have portfolio, sure. But if you are able to, you know, write articles or record videos of things that you're building and they can see your progress, you're going to connect with more people. So you're going to make some friends maybe, or you're going to meet a mentor or somebody really cool is going to help you out. And it'll give you more opportunities than just having like your resume and your cover letter, your stuff on GitHub. You've got this portfolio, but you're not sharing what you're doing. It also gives them a look into like your personality, what you would potentially be bringing to the culture. They also kind of get a feel for just you in general. So it's more helpful than anything else because they'll feel like they have an idea and they're more familiar with you going into the interview than trying to, get to know as much as they can about you in that limited amount of interview time. And it gives you great practice. So anyway, let me step off the soapbox and we'll continue to watch this.
Hey everyone, how do I start the show? Much time in Canva, you can what the shout outs are. I might have weekly Silicon. We know in launching an early comfortable contribute to shadows of other folks in the community.
Also, real quick, I don't know if it was intentional for the screen share to be delayed. But again, I just want to preface this by saying this is an early version of the platform and the app. So I don't want people to think this is like the final version. The reason that people are in here is to break it, to find the things that need to be tweaked, so that way they can go in and improve it. So don't nobody be throwing hate. I guarantee if you're building software, the same thing's going to happen. So anyway, now I think we're back to where we were.
And we want to incentivize all of that for you guys. So the weekly shout outs that we are going to be kicking off on a weekly basis, shadows this week. Changed it with our brand guide, but it's a little, I don't know, right? Does not look off. It's not letting me turn it. Hold on.
This is exactly what I sound like when I'm making a Canva design.
Oh, let's ungroup it. I see why. There we go. See, I've worked a lot with this tool, but it's still getting used to it.
Canva's an amazing tool.
Ooh, it's even more crooked. I don't know.
I use it for wireframes.
I might need to redo this template, but that's the idea. Kind of like the stars that I added there. Anyway, also our brand font. This is not our brand font. I'm gonna go ahead and update the font here to Roboto so it aligns. I think I changed most of this. Yeah, just that was not.
I do like the Roboto versus the Leaks part.
Bigger. Cool. And then okay, maybe it just has to be like.
I need to do a Canva stream so that way you guys can.
I hope Ethan is doing some really good explaining of me changing how crooked this is. Like maybe it has to be off and that's how it's supposed to look. And I've already over curated it. I don't know, guys. This is terrible. Okay. The last one that I'm really excited to share with you guys as I just move this sideways and sideways. All right, I'm almost done. Is the Shadow Master. This is one that I think is really fun because kind of more of a long-term engagement. We know that everyone's going to be learning how to use the platform, that it's not going to feel comfortable right away, or maybe it does. And so you just jump right in. But basically, if you interact with 100 shadows, you're casting or you're viewing, you will join the Shadow Master Club. You will get a t-shirt with a 100 on the sleeve, Silicon Society on the front in the mail, as a way to kind of just like show our appreciation for your engagement with the platform. And hopefully you've been getting a lot from it. And so we'll include that as a reminder in our weekly shout outs. You'll see that in the Modo only app when you log on. But we'll start announcing it, probably in a few weeks, and people start to hit that. And as we build up our content library, you'll also start seeing content in here from a few partners that we're onboarding. So definitely, I hope folks are like logging in daily, or at least every other day, seeing what new content is on the platform and engaging with that. That's it. That's all I really wanted to show. If anyone has ideas on other types of shout outs, things that you want to do in the platform, we do have on the support page. Actually, I can show this quickly since I'm here. Let me stop my screen share. And
I love an incentive.
am I about to break this? If I open up another window with the app, I don't know.
I also
We're going to find out together, guys.
um, merch. Just
Okay, if you
any
go to
kind
our
of merch.
support page here,
Okay, so
on the app itself,
don't think this is intentional.
first of all, if it's like, you're just hanging out on the app for the first time, definitely check out the getting started video. It's a really great overview that Shelby put together of the app.
So this is alpha.
But if you have any feature requests as you're like playing around with the different features with the shadow room, go ahead and click tell us here and fill out this form. We are monitoring this in real time. We are in real time adding stuff to the roadmap based specifically on our early user experience. So we know as you're viewing shadows and casting shadows, you're going to be like, I wish that I could do this. I think some, like, we even had like change the time of a shadow when you pre-schedule it wasn't a feature yet. So that is something that we are working on adding in. So even just like small things that are obvious on a platform that's been around for years and years, but will be helpful as we get to our beta testing group, and then roll out MVP. We want to hear from you guys. So definitely fill out that form from here as you experience it more, and just let us know what's going well also. All right, well, that's a bit about weekly shoutouts and becoming a Shadow Master. Reach out with any questions at all. And as always, thanks for being here. Bye.
Yay. I think that was a great, like, short and sweet little thing to kind of showcase. Plus, if you watch the VOD, you'll be able to see this, get a little sneak peek. Now watch me not supposed to do this. And then they'll be like, hey, can you not? And I'll be like, oops, whoopsies. Cool. Okay, so this is alpha. I'm considered a partner. What is this? Cool. Okay. Sweet. Okay, let me hit this red button and see what it does. Okay, so I was right. It does leave the shadow. So let's leave that. Plus, I got 1 towards my 100. I am a completionist. I am going to hit this achievement. Awesome. So I think I could have also gotten to that from the library. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So, oh, there's a ton. Okay. Okay. So this shows all the replays that we can watch. I'm not going to go through and watch any more because I feel like that would be cheating. But yeah. Enhancing an open source project. CLI. Okay. Nice. Nice. Setting on managing your Python environment with Conda. Okay. Vector DB performance testing. So that way you can kind of see some of the things that are on here. Stable Diffusion kids art. I tell you what, one of the most popular things, and I can say this because I was in academic support, and let me preface this by saying I'm a web person, and I knew about this. One of the most popular labs workshop was Robert just making things, because he comes up with the craziest things and they're so cool. So and I also really like that there's the tags. I don't even know what this is. Integrating Mapbox into a web application. I mean, I'm assuming it's a map, but you know, that's cool. Building a CMS, that's cool. Mobile app deployments, like there's a bunch of really cool things on here that I'm obviously going to watch because we gotta hit that hundo. We gotta get that t-shirt. The other thing too that I think is cool is there's this little skills dashboard. So it kind of gives you an idea of the different skills. That's kind of interesting. And then gives you a breakdown. I will say this doesn't seem to be in real time because we just finished that. And then there's only really the one filter there. So it's good to know. So you can also track skills, which I think is cool. Total shoutouts, total skills, total time. I'd be curious to see if this isn't real time, how often this is updated. Even if that's just in like a little eye information thing that you hover over, or if it's like in small print somewhere. So I'm pretty excited to play around with this. You know, this is the first time I've been like asked to do something early, so I feel really cool. Okay, so we looked up the library. We didn't look at calendar, but it looks very similar to the shadow this side. So I don't know if that's intentional. And then we're gonna schedule a shadow. So, oh my gosh, people are doing stuff that's so cool. Like I wanna seem cool too. I do like that it says, "Hey, did you mean like you want to start now?" And then it gives you a link to start one. So let me do my first shadow maybe tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Well, no, because I have a graduation tomorrow. I could do a short one. We're not gonna start at midnight, obviously. We'll do it. Let me look at my calendar for tomorrow. Okay. Let me put it in 3 days. There we go. Okay, so I could do like 9 to 10. Because I want to, like, I know that there are some, like, these are short. Let me go to the library and see, like, how long some of these are. Okay, while I'm just talking out loud here, I can't see how long the replays are. So I have to, like, commit to sitting down and watching one of these. So I think maybe having the length of time that it is over here on the left-hand side would be really cool. Or somewhere. Don't matter where. Okay. I don't know like what the normal amount of time is. Maybe we'll just do like a 30-minute high. Why am I acting like this is my whole life? Okay, let's do 9. Okay, let's go back to our calendar. So I go in at 2. I actually go in at 1. But the first hour, I am like catching up, doing stuff like that. Probably instead of putting out of office, I should probably put that as my thing. So I have until 3:30. Do I have anything going on tomorrow that is outside of... I don't think I have an appointment or anything tomorrow. So yeah, we'll do like a little lunch and learn. And then if I like it, I'll do it again that evening. Hello, Sadie. She's wanting my apple, is what she's wanting. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I could continue my Star Wars application. I feel like I'm overthinking this. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely overthinking this. So let's... I do have a website that I don't think my mom wants anymore. I could also do some planning, like some design work. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, let's see, designing my let's just put designing with Figma. Figma and Canva. Maybe Canva. I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely overthinking this. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do it at noon. And we'll do from 12 to 1. And I'll kind of go based off of some of the ones that I've seen. So this one says learn about weekly shouts, Shadow Master. In this session, we'll dive into woo woo woo, woo woo woo. Okay. So I kind of follow that. We'll say learn about designing applications in or we'll say designing wireframes, prototypes, and more in Figma and Canva. share some previous work, so that way they know what I'm talking about. Give me some credibility. Wow, starring design process for a new project. We'll say, see you there. Okay, cool. So it's type to choose tags. So we'll do Figma. We'll do UX, UI. Nope. Okay, this modal, I appreciate the modal, but it needs some room to breathe. We need some padding. Okay. Design? Not InDesign. Me and InDesign are not friends. Figma, we'll do wire. Okay, so it seems like there needs to be some additional design, UX, UI tags, things like that. So we'll put React. I think I'm trying to remember Tailwind. Okay. And then we'll put Next.js. There we go. And then visibility, we'll do public. And then, okay, so that's definitely good to know. I had it at like 100% and I'm having to zoom out. Gotcha. So there is room to breathe. It's just zoomed in. Good to know. Did you all see the button? Okay, so let's do that again. See, it's there right now because it's disabled because the information's not there. So we'll put heyo, and then we'll just put like right now. Hi there, this is a test. And then we'll put was this end-to-end testing? Gotcha. Okay, so like right here, here, let me take a screenshot. And again, this is not this is not me doing this on stream to like call them out or anything. This is so that I can go in and put a request in, or like a bug report. Because if I turn on my dark reader, it seems like the schedule shadow button just has, or the text on this button just has the same color as the background color on the button, which doesn't seem like a huge deal. However, it's like I don't know that I'm supposed to hit this button. It's just I'm assuming that the button is right there because the cancel button is right here. And then the other thing too, just because I'm thinking about it, I want to say that on typical modal app, like modals and like applications, so I don't know if this is like intentionally trying to be different. But on most modals, you'll see the like schedule or submit button over here in the corner, and then have the cancel button right next to it. So the cancel button would be kind of in the same area, but then the submit would be over here. So that's just, as I'm filling this out, it just makes me think about that. Okay, cool. So we've got a shadow scheduled, so that's exciting. Why am I suddenly nervous? Like, my goodness. And then let me go back to 100% and hit start a shadow. Okay, I love this because since they are the same color, I may hit one at the wrong time. So go through. I kind of want to like do one real quick, you know what I'm saying? Not to play the system, but to kind of see. But also, like, I don't want to do too much, like, on stream without being like, hey. Because I didn't sign anything. I just signed up. So, I don't want to be like, oh, let me share everything. You know what I mean? Plus, I think that is a good enough kind of sneak peek for people that are interested. And why is there a May 2025? Oh, it's on my screen. Duh. Okay. Cool. Okie dokie. Right. So I am going to turn music back on. I'm gonna go back to just chatting. Because I think I'm tired, y'all. I think I'm gonna do my dailies. I might record a couple videos for YouTube. But I might also do it tomorrow after my shadow. But also, I'm kind of tired. I just want to go to bed. It's been a long day. So, I am going to wrap things up right here. Let me go look and see if there is.
Gigi, I've decided not to leave this town. Maybe I can stay and find some other nice people.
Said it would be helpful if my headset was on and I wasn't muted. Alright, let me see if anyone is doing some coding stuff. And I do realize that today's We Code Wednesday was a little more like just chatting sort of deal. I feel like we got a little bit of code review, but I was not expecting to stream for 2 hours. I was just sitting there on my tangent. I did kind of like going through and looking at websites. So if you do watch the replay, let me know if going through and, I don't want to say nitpicking, but like observing other applications and things they did really well versus things that they might not.
luck point to add +1 to a roll, or 3 luck points to reroll a check. You can only hold 5 luck points total. If you gain a 6th luck point, then roll a 1d4, and that's your new number of luck points. Oh. So it punishes stockpilers. Interesting. I like the concept that's presented there with the luck system a little better.
Else anything like similar? So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end it, especially since I want to go to sleep and I have more way to run. Especially since it's just me. So, I'm not gonna raid this time, but I hope that those of you that came by were able to get something accomplished. I know that you probably had some lurkers, so thank you so much for lurking. Don't feel like you have to post anything in the chat or anything. It should be comfortable as a comfy space. So thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your week, and I will see you next time. So, bye.